Hi Internet people! So this week's Fangirl Freakouts is actually about something I'm not even sure I've ever talked about in a Fangirl Freakouts before. Like, the subject itself, like the thing specifically, I know I haven't, but I feel like I don't really talk about podcasts that often, and admittedly, I don't listen to a ton of them. I've checked some out. I am a huge fan of Night Vale Presents. I'm actually thinking of doing a video about their stuff later on, just because there are so many different podcasts from them. But I've been listening to a lot more podcasts at work because it's easier for me to listen to a podcast than to watch a video while I'm doing like data collecting or like paperwork stuff. So somewhere, I literally don't know exactly where. I know it was Twitter, but I don't remember who. Someone recommended the Bright Sessions. Yes. Okay, so the Bright Sessions are, I'm gonna say it's a little bit like if the X-Men had to go to a therapist. So in the Bright Sessions, I cannot talk today. I blame the fact that I've been in meetings all day. But in the Bright Sessions, Dr. Bright meets with a variety of clients. Sam, who is a time traveler, Caleb, an empath, Chloe, telepath. Who else? And Damien. Some new characters have been added, but those are like the core 4 characters at the beginning. So, all of the characters have their own sort of separate plots, but the plots tie together in a really interesting way. So each podcast is typically a session or something that's happening that's being recorded. So there's always an explanation for why the podcast is happening. Frequently they're Dr. Bright's session notes, so she records everything that happens, though not everyone knows they're being recorded. And then later on, Chloe decides that she's going to start recording things because it helps her process information. So Sam comes in because she has really high anxiety, and the anxiety coupled with her phasing ability. So she time travels, but she can't really control it. She tries, but what happens is she gets very panicked and she wants to like escape, or something bad happens and she'll just pop somewhere else in time. But she can't interact with anyone the way you normally would. Though in the first season, something does happen where she can interact with someone, which is very interesting. Then Caleb, who is super cute, is an empath. He's in high school, and he's like trying to deal with the fact that taking in other people's emotions is sometimes very difficult for him because he's a teenager. He's like dealing with his own crazy up and down emotions, but he's also dealing with other teenagers' up and down emotions. But there's a guy at school named Adam whose emotions keep getting pulled to him. Like, he keeps feeling Adam more strongly than a lot of other people, which is really cool and leads to the cutest thing ever, and it's so adorable, and it's great. Yes, that is a queer coupling that happens. It's very interesting though because Caleb discusses it based on his emotional connection to Adam, which is very interesting. We later learn that there are other queer characters in the show, but that really doesn't happen until the latest season. Season 3? I think it's season 3. They've also introduced another queer character, which is great. I'm so excited. But what I absolutely love is that they're going through normal issues in their lives, but they're also involved in this very intense, like, not corporate, like government secret thing. So Dr. Bright is holding these sessions, but she's also previously been connected to an organization that worked with people with special powers, and oh my gosh, they have a name. I'm so dumb. I cannot remember the name. Oh, this sucks. I'm so sorry. But Dr. Bright meets with these people, and then now she's doing it in like private practice, but she still knows about the organization, and the organization has something to do with her brother. So Dr. Bright is still trying to figure out what's going on with her brother, which is like a really cool tie-in with Sam. Yes. And then Chloe's plot, she is a telepath, so she can read people's minds, but she initially thinks that she can talk to angels, which is really interesting. She meets a man named Frank, who is, he's a homeless man, but there's something about him that she relates to. So a lot of Chloe's connection is to Frank, and then Frank and Chloe wind up connected to other things. So all the plots sort of tie together in a really clever way the longer the series progresses. The other patient that we meet is Damien, who isn't really a patient. Yeah. So Damien has the power of persuasion, much like Damien from The Omen. Though, yeah, just it's a persona, it's a thing. But Damien is a really interesting character because he's really not likable. He's a jerk because he can control what people think about him and what people do. So Damien's character is sort of, you don't think he'll be useful for what's going on, but he winds up being useful. And then his character does develop over time, but I'm always a fan of the, like, jerk character. Like, I don't root for them. I just have this weird obsession with, like, jerks in stuff. Like, if I were ever cast in something, I would just want to be the, like, jerkiest jerk ever, who's just like, meh, I don't care. But Damien's a really interesting character. So all of the Bright sessions are just really interesting to listen to, and, like, the finales, the end episodes and seasons are intense. But I've really enjoyed listening to it, and it's a super quick listen. Like, I listened to it in a few days at work. I was getting work done. I just also listened to it, like, on my lunch breaks, and basically anytime I didn't have to do anything, I was just listening to it intensely. So that actually led to me, like, finding a bunch of other podcasts to listen to. So I'm going to talk about those in different videos, but you should definitely check out the Bright Sessions. I will link their page below. I haven't been listening to them on iTunes. I know I should subscribe to them on iTunes, but it's easier at work for me to listen through, I think it's their SoundCloud. Yeah. They have a website where you can find everything. They also have a SoundCloud page that you can listen to stuff on. It's just easier for me at work. I've said at work like 80 times. So the Bright Sessions are awesome. The one thing I wish could happen is that Inhuman Condition could do a crossover with the Bright Sessions, because I keep thinking that RJ Lackey from Inhuman Condition is the reason that I like knew about this. I feel like he listened to it like after Inhuman Condition came out, or like mentioned it to people who might like it because they like Inhuman Condition. I don't know. But you should definitely check out the Bright Sessions. It's a really interesting listen. It's definitely a multi-genre thing. Like, it has sort of supernatural elements, it has these, like, people with amazing powers, and then it just has this sort of, like, human element of them just trying to get through life without losing their minds, which is something every human being in the world goes through. So you should definitely check them out. It'll be linked below. If you've listened to the Bright Sessions, let me know what you think. Let me know who your favorite character is in the comments, or on Twitter. I'm at CluffNotes. You can find me on my blog, cluffnotes.wordpress.com. I write for the Nerdy Girl Express, thenerdygirlexpress.com. And I run their Snapchat, the Nerdy Girl EXP. Bye, internet people.